Hi everyone, I'm Diane Morin. Welcome to the Orange County Library System's Cuisine Corner cooking demo class today that I'm hosting. I'm going to show you how to make a roasted eggplant. Super simple, easy recipe, not complicated. I'll try to make it not complicated for you, but we'll have fun. I'll walk you through step by step, and if you have any questions when this recipe is posted, feel free to go on my website and comment or ask your questions, which is cookingwithdiannemorin.com. All right, so let's get started. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this beautiful eggplant that I have, and I am going to slit a few little holes in here. I try to do them at different corners, like front and back. I'm going to use about 3 pegs of garlic that I have where I already peel the skin off. So what you're going to do is you're going to take it and you're going to push it into these slits that you created. Sometimes you got to like poke your finger through it and push it all the way in. If the garlic is too big, you might have to cut it, but get that in there all the way in. And let's see where I put these other holes. That's the fun part when you do it, trying to remember where you poke the holes. Here goes my other one. Push that in all the way. This one's a little bit bigger, so I'm gonna switch positions and get it from the other side and all the way in. And my last little one, which is here. So again, if you're using a really big eggplant, you can do probably 4 slits. If your eggplant's a little small, 2 garlic will work. The reason why I put the garlic in is to, while I'm roasting this in the oven, the garlic is going to cook inside the eggplant and give that eggplant a lot more flavor. So once we have the eggplant all stuffed with the garlic, what you want to do is take some oil. I mean, you could use an oil brush and brush it, but I personally prefer to just put some oil in my hand and rub that garlic all the way around completely. Gets a little slippery. Once it's completely rubbed, we're going to take this and put it in a baking dish. So here's my baking dish. If you're using an oven, you can use a baking tray. I personally like to use a baking tray because I'm going to put that oven on broil, and I'm going to put my eggplant in that baking tray, stick it in the oven, put it on the broiler. Or if you like, you can take this eggplant and put it on a grill. I'm trying to get some of this oil off my hand. Put it on a grill and roast it, okay? Once the eggplant is completely roasted, I'm gonna show you what it looks like. So this is the end result, right? So you could see it's sunken down, it's nice and soft, and my garlic is in here, so you're gonna let it cool for a bit before you do anything with it. So what I normally do, once my eggplant is in the oven, roasting, I chop up my onions, I'm gonna chop up 2 additional garlic, I'm gonna chop up a handful of cilantro leaves, and I'm gonna prep my rest of my ingredients, which is cumin seed, some salt, and black pepper for taste. If I don't have cumin seed, guys, you can use cumin powder as well, so that will work. So what you want to do is get your frying pan. We're going to turn our stove on, get it more like on a medium to high heat, like kind of in the middle somewhere. You want to make sure the pan gets nice and hot. I'm using about 2 tablespoons of oil. So today I'm measuring, right? So about 2 tablespoons of oil. I personally prefer to use like avocado oil or olive oil. If you're using olive oil, kind of keep your temperature below 350 so you don't burn your olive oil too much. But avocado's one of my favorite oils that I like to use because it works well on high heat. All right, so I'm gonna let this heat up for a few minutes, and then we're gonna add our seed And I'm gonna then add my onions and then my garlic and saute everything up until they are about like a translucent color. My cumin seeds, what I'm gonna do with that when I add it to the pot, I want to see them roast a little bit, so they're gonna turn to like a nice golden brown color, and you will start smelling the aroma when you're using the seeds. Once you smell that, again, we're gonna add the onions to it. So let's kind of give it a few minutes and then we'll get started on our next step. All right, guys, so let's get started on the second part of our cooking, our roasted eggplant. So my oil is nice and hot. I can feel that heat. I'm going to use like about a 1/4 teaspoon of the cumin seed and put that in there. And I love the seed, so I'm one of those people, I always go back and add a lot more than my 1/4 teaspoon, but some people aren't crazy about it, so they add a little less. Like I said, you can do the powder formation on this if you want, and there's like roasted ones versus regular. I like the roasted, it gives it a really nice strong flavor. So once this is all heated up, from what you can see, it's starting to sizzle, and I can smell that aroma. It smells so, so good. All right, so it's turning to that brown color like I stated on here. So we just move it around gently just to make sure it's evenly throughout the pot. And then I'm gonna add my chopped onions. You can use about a small to a medium onion. If you're crazy about onions, add a lot. If you're not, add a little. I mean, nice thing about this recipe, you can adjust it as you go. I add my garlic in there as well. I want to get that garlic to get a nice light brown color. And I'm just going to let it cook for just a few minutes. Now, just to give you some ideas of how you can change up this recipe, this is something I make in my house at least once or twice a month. It's my go-to Sunday brunch or breakfast, whichever time of the day I end up making this for my family. What I do with this recipe sometimes is when I'm roasting my eggplant, sometimes I'll throw my onions in and roast the onions in. Sometimes I'll add some sweet peppers in here as well and roast it, or a tomato, or I'll chop up tomatoes or chop up peppers and roast them and add them to this pot while I'm sauteing this up. If you like salted codfish, that's another option. You can boil the salted codfish, drain it, rinse it in cold water, break it up and add it to the pot at this process, and then add your eggplant. So lots of different ways for you to play around with this recipe and have fun with it. My thing about cooking is you never have to make the same type of food over and over and over again. Have fun changing it around. And that's the thing I love about cooking, is that I love having varieties of ways to make a meal different. Okay, so now this is getting nice and limp, so I'm gonna just let it cook for a few more minutes, and then I'm gonna show you. Let me move some of this stuff out of the way. Now, you wanna spice this up, add some chili pepper, or if you have chili pepper, you can chop it up and throw it in here. I like to use the powder, so I'm not biting into, like small pieces of pepper. The powder kind of helped to move around in the entire eggplant, so that's why I like to sprinkle the chili powder on here. So I put that in there when my onions are pretty much at that, translucent color. Now, the fun part. So again, you have your eggplant. What I like to do is peel the skin back, because we're not going to use the skin. So normally what I do is I take this top piece off and just pull back. Really easy, everything comes right off. And of course, this is nice and cool, it's not hot, so when you take it out of the oven, give yourself some time to let this cool down and pull it apart. And what I do is I don't pull the whole thing off. I pull it just to where I can get to the eggplant and scoop everything out. Now, if you could see, my garlic is also in here and it's nice and soft. So what I do is I throw this in here because I'm gonna put that in and mash everything up. And here's the eggplant. Take this, move that to your pot. And I just use my spoon, scoop the rest of the eggplant up, leaving the outer skin behind. Kind of get a little messy with your hands, but as long as it's cool, you can handle it. All right, so, okay. Let me get my hands clean a bit. All right, so the fun part. Take the eggplant and now you're just gonna mash it out. Okay, I like to use just the back of my spoon or sides to mash it out. The garlic that was in here, that gets mashed out as well. And then it's just stirring. And then I'm just gonna season up. So since there's no salt added to this, I'm gonna add my salt. I'm gonna add some black pepper. So again, for your own, taste, you can add the amount of salt you need and the amount of black pepper you need. And like I said, if you love spicy, you can add a little bit more of the chili powder to this. But all I'm doing is just mashing this out. And we're just cooking this for about another 5–10 minutes max. If I find that my eggplant wasn't as soft as I wanted it to be, I can cook it up to 10 minutes. But normally, once everything is nice and soft, we're talking about 5 minutes and this is done. Super, super easy, simple recipe. And I think I got that all mashed out. All right, guys, so this looks pretty much done. So I'm giving it a last stir. And as you can see, it's not oily at all. I mean, all the flavors are infused in here. You want to taste it, make sure it's exactly the right amount of salt you added to it. You can always go back and tweak it if you find that you want it a little bit more spicy. So again, really simple. I'm gonna turn my stove off because this is completely done. And then I get to serve this up. So what do you serve this up with? Again, you wanna, let's take a step back. So once this is done cooking, you're gonna sprinkle your cilantro leaves on top, okay? And then you want to serve this up with roti or naan. If you want to do this as like appetizer, if you are having a party, maybe get some pita bread as well. You can slice those up small, or you can eat it with crackers, but basically, this is complete. And then we're gonna put it in our bowl. And okay, and then serve it up with some naan. So really simple, really easy to do. I hope you guys enjoy this recipe. Again, just an eggplant with some garlic, some cumin seeds, some chili powder, and some oil that was used to make this recipe. And what we did was saute everything up after we roasted that eggplant. Again, the best way to roast it, if you're at home, put it in an oven at broil, or if not, you can go out and put it on a grill and just roast it on your grill. So again, thanks for joining me. I hope you enjoyed watching me put this video together, and I hope you try it and give us your feedback. Again, thanks for joining, and I'm Dianne Morin with Cooking with Dianne Morin.
Thank you for watching. To learn more about Cuisine Corner and see more videos, visit OCLS.INFO/Cuisine Corner. Orange County Library System is your place to learn, grow, connect.